Welcome back, dedicated learners, to our advanced conversational space. I'm Caspian, and as always, I'm joined by the insightful Alara. Today, we are tackling a subject that is the bedrock of all personal development, the art of mastering your time.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alara, and Caspian, you are absolutely right. We often hear the phrase, don't waste your time, but it's so much more than a simple warning. It's a philosophical and practical framework for living an intentional life, especially when we are trying to acquire a complex skill, like mastering a new language.
Precisely. We are living in an era of unprecedented distraction. Our attention is the most valuable currency we own, yet we often trade it for pennies. Today, we are going to dismantle the psychology of time wasting and reconstruct a system that helps you reclaim your focus, specifically for your English learning journey, but also for life in general. And we are going to do this using advanced, nuanced vocabulary so you can learn while you reflect.
I love that approach. So before we dive into the practical tips, let's unpack the core concept. What does it truly mean to waste time? It isn't simply about having fun or taking a break. Wasting time is the misallocation of your finite cognitive and temporal resources toward activities that yield zero or negative returns in terms of growth, well-being, or progress.
That is a perfect definition. To illustrate, let's use a metaphor. Imagine time as a finite resource, like a glass of pristine water. You only have that one glass. If you pour it onto the concrete simply to watch it evaporate, you have squandered it. You can't collect it back. Similarly, when we mindlessly scroll through social media for 2 hours, we are not just killing time, we are essentially pouring our cognitive water onto the floor.
That is a striking image. And the tragedy is that we often feel that regret immediately afterward. We ask ourselves, why did I just do that? That feeling of dissonance is our internal compass telling us we deviated from our values. Speaking of which, Caspian, can you share a personal anecdote about a moment when you realized you were pouring your time onto the floor?
Absolutely, and it happens to the best of us. Last month, I was working on a complex report. My brain was fatigued, so I decided to take a strategic 10-minute break. I sat on the sofa, opened my phone, and clicked on a short, humorous video. I laughed, felt a dopamine spike, and then another video autoplayed. I told myself, just one more. You all know that phrase, right? The notorious just one more. When I finally came up for air, I checked the clock. An hour and 15 minutes had vanished. And the worst part, I felt more exhausted, cognitively depleted, and a wave of guilt washed over me. I had fallen victim to the attention economy.
That is such a universal experience. You entered a dopamine loop, a cycle where the platform's algorithm relentlessly feeds you stimulating content, making it incredibly difficult to disengage. And this brings us to a crucial distinction: intention versus accident. Wasting time is rarely deliberate. It is almost always a consequence of lacking a clear intention.
Exactly. So how do we combat this? How do we stop the leak in our finite water glass? We have developed 5 robust strategies that can help anyone, particularly language learners, reclaim their time. Shall we start with the first one?
Yes, let's. Tip number 1. Make a tiny plan. We often overestimate what we can do in a day and underestimate what we can do in a year. But planning is the antidote to aimlessness. Think of a plan as the GPS navigation system in your car. If you drive without inputting an address, you can drive around in circles for hours. You burn petrol, you waste time, and you arrive nowhere.
That is a powerful metaphor. Many learners say, I want to improve my English. But that's an incredibly ambiguous goal. It's too vague. Vagueness is the enemy of execution. When the goal is fuzzy, the brain naturally defaults to the path of least resistance, which is usually distraction. Instead, you need a precise micro-address. For instance, today I will learn 3 specific collocations related to business, or I will listen to 10 minutes of this podcast and shadow the intonation.
Exactly. And the key word here is tiny. Do not set a goal to study for 2 hours. That's overwhelming. It triggers a freeze response. When I was learning a foreign language, I struggled with consistency because I aimed for an hour a day. It was too heavy. I dropped the goal to 10 minutes. 10 minutes is so psychologically light that I couldn't say no. Some days I did 30 minutes, but my minimum promise was just 10 minutes. This is the principle of lowering the barrier to entry.
That is a brilliant segue to our second tip, Alara. Tip number 2, use your pocket time. We all have moments of micro-waiting, waiting for the bus, standing in a queue, sitting in a taxi, or waiting for coffee. We disregard these as dead time, but they are actually golden pockets.
I love how you frame that. Imagine time as a collection of coins. You have large gold coins, like a free afternoon, but you also have hundreds of small copper coins. 5 minutes here, 3 minutes there. Most people throw these copper coins into the trash. They scroll mindlessly. But if you collect these small coins, they aggregate into a substantial treasure. You can review your 3 new vocabulary words while waiting for the bus. You can listen to a short English audio clip while washing the dishes.
I have a friend who is a busy parent. She works full-time and has 2 young children. She has no free hour, but she made a conscious decision to utilize her pocket time. 10 minutes during her lunch break to read an article, 5 minutes while walking to the daycare to mentally rehearse sentences. Over 6 months, her fluency improved exponentially. She didn't find extra time. She simply stopped wasting the time she already had.
That is the epitome of the aggregation of marginal gains. Small improvements consistently applied lead to extraordinary results. Now, let's move to tip number 3. Make English fun. If you treat your learning like a punishment, your primitive brain will reject it. You will build resistance and eventually abandon the task.
Precisely. Learning shouldn't be a chore. It should be a game. We need to shift from extrinsic motivation, I have to do this, to intrinsic motivation, I want to do this. For me, music was the gateway. I found a song I genuinely loved, printed the lyrics, and dissected them. I sang in the shower, trying to mimic the singer's intonation, which is excellent for pronunciation. I didn't feel like I was studying. I was engaged in an enjoyable activity that just happened to be in English.
I resonate with that. I used my love for cinema. I watched a short series in English with native subtitles. Eventually, I rewatched it without any subtitles. I was entertained, but I was simultaneously training my ear for natural, rapid speech patterns. It's about attaching the learning process to your existing passions. If you love cooking, follow English recipes. If you love gaming, join an English-speaking server.
Right. And that segues into a crucial defense mechanism. Tip number 4, watch out for time thieves. Time thief is a beautiful metaphor. A time thief is an activity or a tool that steals your time without offering any intrinsic value in return. Typically, this is algorithmic social media. That is a strong and empowering statement. Now, before we conclude, we must address a massive misconception. Tip number 5. Rest is not a waste of time. This is critical. In our hyper-capitalist society, we often glorify burnout, but constant activity without recovery leads to a severe depletion of cognitive resources.
I am so glad you mentioned this. Think of your brain as a high-performance smartphone. If you use it all day without plugging it into charge, it will inevitably die. Rest, quality sleep, and simply doing nothing are not unproductive. They are essential maintenance. During rest, your brain consolidates memories and strengthens neural pathways. This is called the default mode network. Once I tried to push through a complex project late at night. I struggled for 2 hours. I gave up, slept, and completed the exact same task in 30 minutes the next morning. The problem wasn't my capability, it was my depleted battery.
That is such a profound realization. So the balance is key. It is a holistic allocation of your resources, time for work, time for active learning, time for fun, and time for complete rest. A little bit of each creates a sustainable rhythm.
We have used quite a sophisticated lexicon in this conversation. Let's slow down and do a quick vocabulary tour to solidify these terms in your active memory.
An excellent idea. Firstly, we used intentional. It means doing something on purpose, with a clear objective. For example, I am intentional with my time. I refuse to scroll aimlessly. Conversely, we mentioned vague, which means unclear or fuzzy. Improve my English is a vague goal. Learn 5 phrasal verbs is specific.
We used the metaphor pocket time. This isn't an official dictionary word, but it's a powerful mental model. It refers to the small fragments of time in your day, 5 to 10-minute intervals. I use my pocket time to listen to audio articles. Next, we talked about being distracted. This is the state of having your attention fragmented. I feel distracted when my phone is vibrating next to me.
We also introduced the phrase time thief. Scrolling through reels is the biggest time thief in my life. We use the word invest. Unlike spending, investing implies you are allocating a resource now to generate a better outcome in the future. When you listen to this podcast, you are investing in your linguistic future, not spending time.
And we defined routine, which is the consistent sequence of actions you take daily. I am building a routine of reading 10 pages every morning.
And finally, balance. A harmonious state where no single aspect overwhelms the others. A healthy life is a balance between effort and recovery. If you didn't catch every nuance, rewind and listen again. We encourage you to take one of these words and construct a sentence. Post it in the comments below. It is a small but powerful act of creation.
That is a wonderful challenge. So for our listener who is ready to take action today, here's the distilled action plan. Step 1, identify a tiny, specific English goal for today. Step 2, schedule it during a pocket of time. Step 3, make it enjoyable. Link it to a show or song you love. Step 4, actively block out the time thieves. Step 5, give yourself permission to rest and celebrate your small victory.
We also want to emphasize that consistency trumps intensity. It is far better to practice for 10 minutes every single day than to study for 2 hours once a week and feel drained. Your time is the soil in which your linguistic skills will grow. Cultivate it mindfully.
In summary, make a tiny plan, use your pocket time, make it fun, watch out for time thieves, and rest intentionally. These are the pillars of reclaiming your time.
We have reached the end of our conversation, but your journey is just beginning. We have a special PDF transcript available for download in the description, packed with today's vocabulary, definitions, and a practical worksheet. Please click the link and download it to solidify your learning.
If you found this episode valuable, please show your support by liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell. Your subscription genuinely helps us bring these advanced conversations to learners like you. And of course, share this with a friend who often says they have no time to study.
Thank you for joining us today. You didn't just listen, you invested your precious time in your personal growth. This is Caspian and Alara signing off. Keep your time sacred. Keep your curiosity alive, and we will see you in the next episode. Take care and be kind to yourself.